Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another Last Epoch tip stream. As usual, I'm your host, Mike. Hello. How's it going? Nothing else exciting going on today? I know. But today's the usual day and time, and we're sticking with it. I think we just have a little cozy stream here. Relax, hang out. Have some fun, you know. If this is your first time here, I'd be pretty surprised given what's happening right now today. And if this is your first time here, I'm a developer for Last Epoch, and I'm here to answer questions while I play Last Epoch. Pretty cool, pretty fun. We also stream for charity, so all the everything from stream goes to the lovely people above my head. What other housekeeping do you have? Oh yeah, if you have a question for me, please put at Last Epoch Game in chat for the question, or just at Last Epoch in YouTube. Hopefully I've got Kane here to funnel questions to me. Possibly not. That would be let me see if I got him. Probably should have checked this beforehand. Very prepared. Yeah, we're gonna hang out, play some Last Epoch, have some fun. I am very aware that there is the PoE is launching right now, like at the exact same time right now. It's just our usual time slot, and we always skip the week when there is when the launch actually happens for Last Epoch, and it's unfortunate that we're just 1 week apart here. And yeah, I did see a question earlier about trying to get away from the launches for PoE. Yes, that's something we're very interested in doing. Tricky to do. In this case, we weighed the options between getting away from their launch and getting consistent timings, basically. So we're still exploring options on how we can get away from them and still get content out the door, sort of thing. We're either going to have to compromise on timing or content size, like do like a really teeny tiny patch, which we've kind of proven doesn't work great. So we'll see what happens. There's lots of very exciting stuff coming down the pipe. That's yeah. Wick's here. Thank you. Hi, Wick. Appreciate you. So we'll be getting questions funneled that way. So yeah, if you have a question, please put at Last Epoch Game in chat for Twitch, and just at Last Epoch for YouTube. And we will be grabbing questions. I'm just gonna be hanging out playing. If you're interested, at the end of last season, we did a quick little poll in stream about what I was gonna play this season, and we agreed I would play Necromancer, named after the lovely Liliana here. We're starting out. We're early days. We're almost level 70. We're a young character. We're just in early monoliths. We're rocking our unupgraded woven flesh that dropped for us the first time there. And we've got our first something going on here. We've got a resub. Oh, hey Justin, thank you very much. And then we've got our hollow finger, which we're very proud of. Some boots that went okay. Need better versions of those. This amulet's fantastic. Funny story about this amulet that there was the bug where this wouldn't trigger for minion builds, which was really frustrating. But I was triggering it so consistently even as a minion build, because I kept, for whatever reason, the timings lined up that I kept getting spires that would do things like lightning blast or rip or just something that hit, that I was triggering this pretty frequently. And I'm like, we were having an internal conversation about it. I'm like, guys, it works. You don't need minion builds. It works for. And we couldn't figure out, or I couldn't figure out how it was working, and the whole thing. We can grab some questions here that don't have the at least last don't have the tag. Yeah, comment about the GGG with so many release dates happening, it's hard to dodge them. Yes, it is very hard to dodge them completely. I feel like we can and should get away from them by more than a single week. Benna, thank you very much for the raiding party. Welcome, everybody. Like double the people watching. Glad to have you here. Welcome, welcome. All right, we're doing a boss. I got a couple boss fights queued up. Both of these are pretty ready to go for boss fights. Given the new resources you guys have now, could a console release be something to look forward to in the near future? This is same answer as usual. No new info here. Console release is still something that we're very interested in doing. I don't have any details on when that's going to happen, if that's going to happen, all that sort of stuff. If we do have any announcements like that, that'll come from like people who are more high up than I am, sort of thing, more official sources, sort of thing. They won't come on the dev streams. But I sure hope there's something that we decide on that soon. That would be great. Because I know a lot of people are really looking forward to a console version. And that's something that we've been saying we want to do for so long and just haven't been able to deliver on. But I hope it's something that we can start to work towards. Yeah, let's grab some set items. Why not? Level 70, woohoo! I am also playing a very naive build, I want to call it, or I've not pre-planned anything and I'm just winging it and just taking notes as I see fit, being like, that one looks good. Just trying to do the as naive of approach as possible, very intentionally. And so yeah, we are skeletons, bone golem, skeletal mage, dreadshade, and volatile zombie. I did recently just take off an item that pulled a ton of points out of these, so they're kind of weird right now, and I'm just getting them back the way they're supposed to be. Little surprise of an item coming. If I probably should have done some echoes first instead of just going right to both these bosses. All right, speaking of teeny patches, do you think the size between season 2 and season 3 had an impact on season 3 having low numbers or little promotion? Are you all aiming for a big season / snail season cycle? I think that's supposed to, I misread that as small season. I saw the SN and just filled in. Yes, I think, sorry, no, we're not aiming for a big season, small season cycle, I don't think. I think that I think we expected this one to be a little bit smaller in scope because it had so much of the time was coming from campaign elements, which isn't something that we typically get as a large request from most of our frequent players or diehard players. I think there's a lot of people that are really enjoying the campaign updates, and but I don't think it's something that's going to draw in a lot of people to come back. Is like the main thing. It's like, hey, there's campaign changes. That's not really a huge drawing feature, I think, for a lot of people. That was really close. Void res. I think we do just need void res. Yeah. Is our void res? Wait. Has that kicked in yet? What am I doing here? Blessings. It is there. Our void res was terrible. Okay. Well, let's get right into next monolith timeline. I know there's some sweet changes to this that I teased at the end of last season that just barely didn't make the cut, so I'm really excited for that to come in next season now. All right, hello Mike with the now fixed newish monster scaling. Was the goal to somewhat counteract the power creep we've seen the last 2 seasons? Maybe it just a response to people saying the game is too easy. Personally, I love the game. It's getting harder. Yeah, I think in general we just felt the game needed a bit of a difficulty bump. And think a lot of people had a similar sentiment. Getting the curve, the difficulty curve right is tough. There's a lot of feedback that comes. I think it would be a lot more useful if we could pair the feedback of how difficult something is with with how meta a build is that's being played to see it. It's really difficult to pair that feedback together. And I'd like to see more, I don't know, mechanical challenges in especially in the campaign leveling process. I think that would be really interesting. Because sometimes there's like different ways we can put difficulty into the game. It's like, okay, here's a space, and 10% of that space is going to become impossible to survive in. Make sure you don't stand in that 10% so you can beat this fight. Or you can do it where it's like, okay, well, this boss is just going to hit you with an attack, and it's going to deal more damage than what most people have in defenses. So you better have your defenses at a specific, just like a gear check, right? And I think doing different styles of difficulties simultaneously is really important. And sometimes we steer too hard one way or the other. I'd really like to see us start exploring mechanical difficulty, like in a little bit higher complexity, especially in the super endgame content. Like there was, I think back to like MMO days when I used to play, and there's some really complicated mechanics that would appear there and require real coordination in a large team. It's hard to have mechanics like that when there's only one actor, like one player. I've been trying to come up with ideas for that lately. All right. Hey, Mike, any plans to add skill synergies for Hammer Throw? Yes, there are. I mean, I can just say yes to every... If you insert any skill name there, the answer is yes. We are... yeah, we're actively going through a lot of older skills right now. And looking for, especially, yeah, like new conversions, new synergies. Those are a lot of the key targets we're looking for. I think those are the things that people find really exciting and can sometimes rejuvenate an entire ability. Like a single node like that can sometimes take an ability from, well, we've been there, done that, to, oh my god, I'm going to try something new. But it has to be very well placed. All right. Any plans on releasing stats on Uber kills so far this season? Not that I know of, but I hope so. It's something I know people really liked last season, so maybe we can... Who did that last time? Let me just message them and ask. See what we get there. Hey Mike, ever consider making the quick view side stash panel collapsible by category? Yeah. We were joking. We're redoing a whole bunch of the visuals for and the layout and the functionality for the stash. Like there's a huge project happening that just kicked off last week about this. One of the things we were looking at the new idea, and I'm like, you know, there's a program that most of us have on our computers that looks mighty similar to this already. It's starting to just look like Explorer or Finder or whatever the other versions of that is. You know, like just File Explorer, not Internet Explorer. Which I don't know if it works anymore, but for a long time you could just put URLs into Windows Explorer and it would actually use Internet Explorer to go find it. Thank you very much for the sub, Plughead666. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you're having fun. Yeah, I think this build, where we're going with it, hopefully, is going to be to Aaron's Will in the chest and get more golems. We might switch out skeletons for wraiths and just do an unspec'd skeleton army to try and get up as many golems as possible. I think that's the way we're leaning right now. We'll see what happens. How challenging was it to make sure the Rift Beast is correctly displayed and animated with a bunch of possible body part attack combinations? Extremely difficult. The Rift Beast is, there's a lot of tech in there that's kind of hiding beneath the surface. That's going to be really great for future stuff. But right now doesn't seem like a ton right off the bat. So we don't have any other abilities that will modify, or any other enemies that get their abilities modified on the fly. I'm being told to check YouTube stats. Chat is acting odd. Don't know how to do that. I'm sorry. If there's something wrong with the YouTube stream or chat, let us know. We're investigating an issue. I can't see the YouTube chat at all. Let's just bring up the stream. Oh, it's weird watching myself on a delay. Alright, Manifest Armor is still snapshotting gear worn when summoned. Is this intended behavior with this minion, or can we expect that to change? I gotta turn that off. I think that's a special case still. The minion snapshotting that we did was for more of the, like, I guess, naive case, unfortunately. That one's also typically been less prone to issues because the gear you're wearing is still going to buff, because it doesn't double dip. The gear that you wear to make Manifest Armor powerful is also gear that you use to make yourself powerful, so it's been typically less important to do that, and special effects like special unique things that you'd want to have in a situation like that don't apply. Don't get transferred anyways. Still using a leveling loot filter, so it's kind of showing everything still. Okay. Do we have... We do. Okay, good. We're a little underleveled. Answering questions, Mike. What are the thoughts on the OP Thorns Reflect build that can screen wipe clear 1k without pressing a button? I mean, I think it's gone a little overboard. I think this is a situation where a slight nerf would be appropriate. I don't think I'm gonna win that one. I think it's probably gonna stick around. We'll see though. I don't think there's any bugs causing it, which is kind of the problem there. Hey Mike, quick question. Why don't we have Chaos Bolts and Flay a DPS value? What's the challenge there? I think Chaos Bolts is... I don't know what the problem with Chaos Bolts is. I feel like that one has DPS, but only in certain situations it doesn't. There's like certain nodes you can take and it turns it off. Could be wrong with that. Let's just look. Chaos Bolts. Nope, doesn't have it at all. That one's probably just a bug, because that one should have it, I feel like. I'm also not sure why Flay doesn't have it. Yeah, neither one of those have weird situations. I'm gonna turn off venomous. Venomous. We don't need that. You know what else has been said? You have been warned for a long time. Character sheet rework season 4, maybe. I don't know. I did bring it back up again when we were talking about our stash in a UI meeting, and I brought it back up again. So it is front of mind still for the UI team, but I have no info on if it's happening or not. Is there any chance that Abomination could not die when the player dies? No, it has to. Sorry. There's so many problems if it didn't. Are there, I think, any discussions on campaign length? The new act is beautiful, but massive in size, so the full campaign takes a long time for those who want all attributes. There's more ways of getting the things you need from campaigns still now, and you can jump closer to the end with dungeons. I think I'd like to add more dungeons to add more campaign skip options in there, especially for follow-up characters. But yeah, I mean, the issue of campaign length in general does come up pretty frequently as something to check and make sure is good. Oh, did we fill this up? We did fill this up. Let's do another Exalted tab. We're still early days of this. I haven't really properly organized things. Nope. Exalted. Do you have the copy yet? We did do that. Oh my goodness. I forgot that got added. Lovely. Yeah, let's do that. Hello and good evening. Good evening. After yesterday's patch, one major thing that's still pretty lame to me, and it's minion drifting around when you around you without retargeting. First, are you well aware of this specific issue? I'm sure you'll see what I mean playing Necro. I actually have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry. And second, would you have an idea of when it could be fixed? No, I'm sorry. I don't have any info on the status of bugs. I'll keep an eye out the stream though and see if I can notice it. Hi Mike. Oh yeah, here's the surprise. Yeah, it's here. Only got necro resistance. That's too bad. I didn't actually look to see what it was getting throughout the upgrade process yet. Yeah, gimme. Okay, that's going right back on. And so now we've got a bunch more points to reassign. This. What else do we want? I don't know what I want there actually, because we're probably going to unspec that ability. It wasn't planning for it. Here, and I know up here is really good. I'm going to do this for now. These, we need this. These, I kind of want to go over here. I like the fear. I like just the fear in their eyes. Just so much DPS that they lose from wandering about, which will be useful later. All right, hi Mike, I have an item related questions. Seeds, it makes 50% of your endurance to apply to damage dealt to your mana. Does it cap at 60% DR like normal endurance? So to get 60% DR on it, you need 120% endurance since only 50% of your endurance applies to it. I tried to look into online, but I haven't seen any info on it. Thank you for your answer / work. Just a disintegrate sorcerer signed, yes. So I don't know off the top of my head. Let's try and figure it out. Just go bring the item up. Oh, and not die at the same time. Nope, we want items, not skills. Seed. Okay, how's this worded? Damage dealt to mana before health. Endurance applies to all damage dealt to mana. I have to go look this up in the code to see how it actually applies. I think because the endurance is capped itself at 60%, you'll never get 60% DR to mana damage. I think you'll do this to 60% endurance DR cap before taking the percentage of that to mana. So you'll never hit that 120. They'll never hit that 60%. 120. I don't think they'll do it. If you ask me again and ask the devs, I can check like this like after the stream's over. Maybe wait 10 minutes so I have a chance to collect myself again. But I expect that's what it'll be. Honestly, someone who asked the community probably already knows. All right. Hi, Mike. Do you have in the near future the intention to give more means of resisting damages for builds that use static skills to fight like Disintegrate so it can really be competitive with this kind of gameplay? I mean, it's always the intention to have every major playstyle be competitive in general. So like in general, yes. Specifics, I have no idea. Will frogs become to the game in the future? Companion / minion. I got to those. Things are amazing. They're the version of them that's in the game is the version that's going to be in the game. I don't really have a better way of phrasing that. Sorry. Do you have any plans on fixing the Vessel of Memory Chaos Echoes to affect the whole timeline again? They explicitly say they don't work on woven echoes or implicitly on echoes with no echo reward. They only exist on the edge of the web, so having a radius has really destroyed their usefulness. Also, please add a unique ring that converts all mage sub-skills to void. So both of these things are interesting suggestions. If you'd like a chance of us doing them, the best way to communicate that to us is to put them into our suggestions channel on our Discord. That's where we look for suggestions for things like this. I can't say I know of any intention to do this because I haven't read it in the patch notes. Yeah. Best I can say is maybe. And the ring to convert all mage spells to void, that's not happening, sorry. A mass ability conversion like that is it's too much tech debt. So suddenly that means that every single ability we ever add to mage in the future has to be compatible with a void conversion. Which isn't terrible, but it does just mean that that's one fewer conversions that it's probably going to get on its tree naturally. It means that it's just another thing we have to work around and balance around. It means that we can't do it in an interesting way. It has to just always be there. It also breaks some other things that we might want to do in the future as well. So I don't know. Right. Yes, that's one we do want. Yeah. Okay, I think I want to slap this onto here and get that minion damage. And then start wearing a ring with the traversal on it. So I want to bring more of my horde with me when I transport. We do need to get up into Empowered, I think, pretty quick here, because I feel like we're doing good, but I feel like this might fall apart as well. We'll see. It's especially, I don't know, not disheartening, but like, I get leery of builds when I'm like just doing something naively like this, and the style of thing I'm doing is not even listed on any tier list whatsoever. And the only build guide I can find similar to what I'm doing is from last season. Alright. Says guild means factions. I think this may have been a bad copy. Is there any possibility of allowing guild progress to carry over from season to legacy? It does. I have 0 progress on the guilds and legacy and was hoping my progress would carry over, but it did not. Will I have to grind legacy to get my guild ranks up? No, you do not have to do that. It did carry over. If you go to your stash, there's a button in the top right corner. I thought we set this up to do it automatically, but I guess something went wrong with that. If you go to your stash and click in the top right corner, there's a button that will cause it all to move over, and you're set. It works that way. Hey Mike, loving the new season, but not having big boss to kill has been a bummer. I agree. Is the team interested in more pinnacle boss fights, new boss, new Ubers versions, etc.? Yes, definitely. Yes. Sorry, I'm not gonna go into details on this. Any plans to focus on bringing underperforming skills to competitive levels in season 4? Yeah, I mean we're always looking at ways to bump up lower powered skills. Yeah. If you got specific ones that you think are deserving of buffs, suggestions channel on the Discord is always open for stuff like that. Nothing. Well, something, but nothing I want. Let's do an arena. Let's do an arena. Why not? Why not? Hey Mike, what's your favorite build this league that no one's playing? It's flying under the radar. Still do a lot of fun to play. What's your favorite overall currently? I'm a long-term sucker for anything with a bow. So I like huge. Heartseeker is just my baby. Love it to death. Can't handle not playing it. Not quite that bad. I'm really enjoying this build so far. I don't know what's flying under the radar right now. I guess let's check out. What are we not seeing a lot of? Let's look into Sentinel. Let's see what's missing here. I don't see. There's no Forge Guards at all in the top 100. Except for this one. Does it not say the... Wait a second. Does it not actually say the mastery? When you're in the top slot? Am I crazy? Wild. We should fix that. I bet that build that guy's playing is underrated and going unnoticed. That's my answer. I'm picking it. Any update on the detailed skill tooltips? It's awkward to calculate skill specific stats like crit chance. Still on the back burner. Hopefully working on it soon. As it feels in the game. That's the character sheet rework question. Same question, by the way. As it feels in the game right now, T6 mods seem to be a weird spot. Has there ever been a thought to squash tier 6 and 7 to make primordial mods D7? Yeah, we considered that. It kind of messes up gear that already existed. I don't think there's anything too weird about T6 mods right now. I think it's like they're a really good stepping stone. They get you into the system. You know, they provide cool drops, especially in early monoliths, like in that first time through the monolith. That progression into the systems, I think, is really important. How do you feel about champions, mages, nemesis, rift beast being somewhat similar in gameplay? Is that something that you are taking into consideration in future seasons, like making a mechanic that spawns many enemies instead of one single large one? Yeah, I think the similarities are enough that we are seeing a significant amount of feedback to that extent. I don't know how we're going to change that in the future. I think having any mechanic right now that was just like, sometimes it shows up in echoes and you click on a portal and either something comes out or you go in. I think anything that could be described that way right now would probably not be a great candidate for season 4. Are there plans to update the game guide? The other section is getting quite big. Yeah, I mean we updated. This is a confusing question. We do update it every single season. That's one of Carv's jobs. And so I assume you mean like restructure it. There's no plans to restructure it. Are there any plans to allow druids to use companion abilities while snapshotted or shapeshifted? No, companions already have such a strong. There are some ways that can be done already. There are some auto triggering methods for that. So there are situations we've done that already, and that's the style we would continue to do it in. I think companions in general have such a strong synergy with shapeshifting abilities that. If we were going to do that and like allow them the abilities to be used on command, like slotted in and like almost remembered in that slot when you change, I think it would be like just a bit too much as far as the synergy goes there. Part of being a druid is that you're focusing more on yourself than your companions in general, or at least a shapeshifting one anyways. None of those are really great for me. Why was the decision made to not put the new mechanic in all maps? Because it is incompatible with several maps from a technology standpoint, thus making it impossible to put it in every map. Or at least we don't have the way of doing it. Okay, let's shatter some stuff. Not gonna need that. Not gonna need that. We're not gonna need that. Not gonna need that. Minion health is a lot of minion health. Buddy. We need a new weapon so desperately. I'm like ashamed to mouse over my weapon right now. That couldn't become a nice weapon for us. Yeah, we're just gonna do this right away. Hey Mike, great update, thanks. While leveling my first ult and using the campaign skips, is the backtracking before temporal dungeon intended or was it overlooked? Missing port after the dreadnought. I feel like that would have been accidental. Like this comes... I think this is the path you're supposed to go through. Like, so you don't have to backtrack. I could be wrong there. You shouldn't need to backtrack for it. You should, if you have the key already, you should be able to just go through it as you're going in. The flow should work. Oh boy, we're gonna fill this up. And look at these idols later. But quick check. We are liking Mark for Death stuff there. Plague, another thing would just be nice, yeah. These two. Figure it out later. Do not want to bore you with me looking through gear. Do you have plans to address the base smaller idols versus the Weaver idols, or are they in their intended state? I mean, it's... I'd say it's intended the way it is right now. It should be rare that you're looking for... Oh, no. It should be rare that you're looking for the idols that are like these idols. I think that would be like end game goals. Those would be very rare. Similar to how like it's very rare that you'd even be considering like just a magic item for end game, you know? Certain things fall off, and that's fine. I need to tighten up that filter. Heavy, I love it for leveling when I get to endgame, and I know it's not designed for endgame. Just a little too loose. So it is exactly as marketed, which is perfect. All right, we're going there. Hi Mike, new chapter was awesome. Thank you. Is there any plans to remake old chapters in the future and put some more fun content to enjoy while leveling? Yeah, I think the focus is going to be on finishing the 2 more chapters that are still coming, and get the whole game into a hey, this is the game package. It's the like start to finish campaign story experience. Having that be like final is I think the most important thing right now. But yeah, I think we have gone back to redo old campaigns several times, and I know the level designers would love to do that. But I think new chapters are going to come first. Hi Mike, that is all. I just want to say hi. Hi, glad you're here. Hope you're having fun. Hi Mike, happy Friday. Thank you. The new temporal keystones are not in the loot filter and do not have a map marker or map beam when dropped. This is intended or an oversight. I don't know, probably I think it makes sense that they would have a beam because they are pretty important. But not being in the filter makes sense because nothing that goes in that sort of like key category is filterable, because we don't want them to be hideable, because they are going into an infinite storage space. It would also be better, like, I don't know if we can do this or not, but it would be, I think, almost better if we just had a way to be like, okay, well, these things can't be hidden. Alright. XP, 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 XP. Are we still behind the curve? Oh, we're right at the... Oh, this is scaled. Behind the curve still. Dang it. Catch up, Mike. Oh, we're over. Nice. Let's go. I've just completed the campaign. Congrats on the second character. Like 30 minutes ago. And yeah, it does kind of... It is kind of too long and suffers from not being able to farm runes, glyphs, and shards on SSF characters. I mean, there are still like a lot of those things that you get, but like I feel like if there was a like monolith equivalent at that level, it would have a similar level of like ramp up towards farming those things, as we wouldn't want it to be more efficient to go back to the low level version if you're trying to farm those things. If that makes any sense. Come on. Did I miss something? Yeah, okay, it was just an enemy I had to kill. Just Let's walk past. The overall game performance is better, and you all seemingly getting comfortable with higher mob density. Yes. Can we get some mechanics that aren't just one boss thing, like more beacons, gates type thing for future mechanics? Yeah. I think this is a pretty persistent thread in a lot of the feedback we've been getting for the season, and I know a lot of the pitches I've seen for future seasons have included stuff that is different from what we're seeing now. Trying to be as vague as possible, while still being able to say, like, yes, we are listening to this feedback, and I am seeing it manifest in the way the game design meetings are going. But I can't give any promises on specific things that it might be coming and how that's going to actually end up coming through the game in the long run or not. Hey Mike, I've noticed that different minions have varying aggro ranges. Yes, for instance, golems and A-bombs stay near you while your T-Rex will run out to fight things. Is this intended? Intended's a weird way to put this. Yes, like you can see it right here. There's the T-Rex going and everything else going, and the golem staying right beside me. This is like perfect timing. Here's the exact manifestation of your question here. So each minion, when it spawns, it has certain abilities. Each enemy, this is the same for enemies. Every AI has multiple abilities, and the abilities each have different ranges that go with them. There's ranges, cooldowns, and what the ability is. This kind of makes up the AI system for any minion or enemy. And so you can set specific ranges for specific abilities. So you can say like, hey, there's this ability that's ranged only. So you can give things a minimum range too. So you can say like, hey, this ability is a long range mortar shot, and it only gets applied. It only gets used if an enemy is outside of a specific range. The big thing that's happening here that's changing why certain minions are engaging and others aren't, as you can see right here, is that there's an engage range for each ability listed, and the engage range for the golem's abilities are probably just less than the engage range for the skeletons and the mages and the T-Rex. So if we wanted to make them all consistent, we would go in and change those ranges for each of those abilities. So I don't know if someone sat down and said, hey, I want to make sure that the ranges for this is smaller than the skeleton. So I don't know if it's an intended, like designed with that range difference in mind. But I can say that it is doing what it should be doing, or it's doing what it was told to do. Whether it was told to do the right thing or not, I don't know. But it has been, I will say, it has been frustrating me a little bit, where I'm like, Golem, you're the front lines here. Go. And it's like, I think I'm gonna hang out and protect you here, bud. It's the sweet and all, Golem, but I need you up there. You're buffing everybody else. Like, we're given buffs here. Yeah, here we go. Move speeds nearby minions. What else are we buffing? Is this one? Not a lot of buffs, but we got some buffs to other people. Probably should do that one first. I don't do these quest echoes very often, so I do not know good routing for them at all. Because we definitely don't have commands that skip them in the dev builds, I swear. Okay. Minion cold penetration, that might be enough to just switch out my weapon on its own. Yep. Melee. We can chaos that at least. Nope, we cannot chaos that. More questions. As it currently exists, the Baroness Woven Echo, while the rest are very fun and interesting, I believe could really use a rework. Any plans for that? Not specifically, but I mean, if we get feedback to that through our feedback channels, then probably. So, little plug for our feedback channels. On our Discord, there is a feedback channel that we collect feedback from. Check it out. Yeah. And I know it can be frustrating to be like, here's an idea, or here's my feedback on something, and I'm just like, hey, go put it in the feedback channel. It's really because I will forget about it before the stream's over, and I would like a record of it. That's really all it is. Because I read a ton of feedback every day. Some of it gets lodged in there somewhere. The summon skeleton transporting feels like cheat code sometimes. Hey Mike, new zone and mobs in chapter 10 look great. Hopefully to see more of that quality in the future. Yes. Question time. Necro skills rework was a bit underwhelming in my opinion. Skeletons and mages are basically the same, while Beastmaster pets got some new stuff. Why most of Necro's minions don't have some unique abilities that we can spec into. Any plans to add that? Some kind of shield bash for warriors as an example. They're most useless of all of them. Sorry for the lengthy message. I mean, I know people were expecting more in the in the changes realm. I still think that there's like, I guess I consider it to be more changes than a lot of other people do, but I could be wrong on what it actually is, I guess. I don't think that there's going to be a large focus on them next season. They do already have some abilities that they can do that are special. They might not be as interesting as you might like. Summon Skeleton's an interesting one though, because it is there's a lot going on in that ability in general. And having nodes that are incompatible with other nodes on the tree is something we try to avoid and are unsuccessful at avoiding a lot. Probably shouldn't have ported. Oh, they all got up here. Nice. No problem. Oh, we're doing a lot of damage there. I wonder if it got down to the last ward bar. Okay, is there currently a... Oh, yeah, the last question about the minion abilities and stuff like that. Like, we'll always keep adding more stuff. Do I know specifically what's coming in Season 4 right now? No. Do I know that it won't focus on the same things we focused on this time? Yes. But I can say that just about every single patch we've ever done. Oh, I didn't quite hit the last ward thing. That's too bad. All right. No problem. Easy peasy. You guys are getting mana? Do I need a bigger mana sink? It's terrible. Terrible. It's okay. It's okay. We got through the next one. Is there currently a hotkey to transfer items to stash while ignoring the tab filter so you can freely move things without dragging and dropping them into a particular tab? No, but I did see that suggestion right near the end of last season. That one's visually not activating. I do really like this idea. So if you want to see it, you know where to put it. Because I really want to see it. Would the team be open to exploring open fighting mechanics in future seasons? Not as instant-based breach from PoE. Yes, I don't want to make promises, especially because I know that the tech to do that is not something we've been overly successful with lately. Which sounds weird, but there's some weird issues. The reason we do the instant stuff the way it is has a lot to do with why that doesn't work. But that style of thing is something we have been pursuing, and I think we're getting closer to it. I think you can see things like that. I think there's indications of that in some of the Woven Echoes, in the style of things we've been trying to get into the game. Were the drop rates of runes and items that come from dungeon monsters in Echoes nerfed? Not that I know of. It would be in the patch notes if it was. Sometimes what happens in a new season, I don't know if this is the case here, but sometimes what happens is you're playing at a really high corruption, you're seeing a ton of these things drop, and then the new season starts and you're having to ramp back up to that corruption again, and in that process it feels like they are significantly less. And then once you get it into your head that it is less, and it feels like it's less, confirmation bias takes over. So I don't know if that's the case, but might be something to consider. We got the Mirage. Just turning them off as I see them that I don't want, because I can't roll the names of all of them. Could just look it up. Ooh. I'm gonna get my Rift Beast, my little Rift Beast boy, to fight the Rift Beast with. Come on. Oh, I thought it would have triggered by now. Abyssal, we don't need that one either. Probably only like one that we even would consider. Okay, is there a chance you make auto loot filters for builds in-game class specific? Oh wow, nice. Is there a chance you can make auto loot filters for builds in-game class specific? I'm not sure if this is asking for auto loot as a thing, which we're really not super interested in. Oh yeah, the other thing is pre-made filters, which I'm being told is what they're asking here. Yes, pre-made filters is something we're looking at doing. I think that there is a lot of important things you learn about what's available when making a loot filter. So I think I would encourage everyone to try and make their own loot filter if you can, at least once. You just get a little bit better stuff. A little bit. Nice. Okay, cool. And start a new lineage. How's our amulet? Oh my goodness, so much stuff. +1. Man. Let's get shattering. That. I think we're just gonna try and buy another one of these and just keep rolling with it, right? Sweet. Less endurance, a tiny bit less endurance, a tiny bit more attributes. Not a big deal. Both got the +3 skills. We're gonna slap that one in our next egg. Loving all the stash options and the new duplicate, but remaking it as is a bummer. Yes, just thoughts on making tabs free and static ones set up. Okay, so the idea of having a way to get more or to like pre-purchase your stash tabs before coming, like, how does this? The concept of having something material that you've gained on entering the new season is something we're not interested in doing. So this is a pretty hard no on like the question of can I keep all my stash tabs season to season sort of thing. Can they all be free? No. is this a major problem that we absolutely need to solve and are working on and are planning on solving? Yes, absolutely. We have I think we have a much better solution in mind that will not cause the problem of too many of a head start issues for long existing accounts. Yeah, so we've got some other stash things. There's lots of stuff about the stash that we can improve, and it's sort of like I think what happened with the stash, I think we built a really awesome stash system initially with a lot of room for improvement. A lot of just little mistakes that we made that if I knew what I knew now going into it in the first place, we never would have made those mistakes. Most notably, the number of cells is awkward at best. The number of cells vertically needs to be divisible by every, or ideally would be divisible by every number of possible vertical heights for items that you can have in your gear. So you could always fill up a tab. If you were going to put any one item type in a tab, you could fill up that tab completely without having empty space. That would be a perfect thing. I think that number's 24, unfortunately, and we're at 17. So adding another 7 vertical of these slots is basically impossible. The next closest number, I think, is 18, which gets all but one of them, I think. All right. Yeah, 24 is all of them. 18 doesn't go into 4. Nope. Is it 20? Yeah, 20. 3 doesn't go into 20, but everything else goes into 20. Sure. That's close. This needs to be in a prominent position. So I remember it. But yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff we're working on for the stash tabs, and it's gonna get a little bit of an overhaul. Don't know when that'll happen, but we're working on it. Is there a plan to buff unused affixes? I think that often affixes flow in and out of being useful based on Sorry, I just got told that there's something in the loot filter that I did not know about. You can filter stuff with keys. We literally added this, and I'm just silly. Here you go, keys. Beam, do big beam for everything. Nah. Yeah, there we go. Get some beams. See what it looks like. Anyways, buff unused affixes. I think that a lot of times affixes will, especially like class-specific affixes that are tied to individual abilities, will come and go in how powerful they are based on a lot of what else is around them, and vice versa. So like it's the synergy between them. It's the ecosystem they live in. Yeah, I think that we're always looking for ways to to bring up the unused things and bring down the overused things to balance things out a little bit. But you still want certain things to be more powerful than others. And as soon as there's kind of like even just like a 1% difference in power, you know, things that play very similarly, the more powerful one will just become like, whether it's 1% better or 10% better or 100% better. It's like sometimes the line on how much better it needs to be before it becomes the like de facto option is pretty small. Come on, we want an egg slot. Egg slot. Now that season 4 is likely in full swing. It is. Will there be any updates to the roadmap? Hopefully. Hopefully. I was expecting a roadmap update before the season even dropped. So I don't know what happened. So I'm not going to promise roadmap stuff anymore because I was clearly wrong. But I really hope we do. I think roadmaps are very useful. But I think that one of the things that require roadmaps to be a really positive experience overall is having them be updated. So like recently there was a Reddit post that was quoting like an old roadmap, but I'm like, I just wanted so bad to be like, well, yes, but that has been obsoleted already quite a while ago. And of the things on it, of the 4 things on that, we only did one of them accurately because we moved the roadmap and changed it. Right. Oh, hey Mike, new season is really good, thanks. Are there any plans to add cursor customization options like changing size or color? I sometimes lose track of the cursor with certain builds. As soon as that becomes an option for us to do, we will absolutely do it. The instant that's possible, yes. Currently, it is not something that we have the choice to do, so we're not doing it because we can't. This is not a design decision. This is an engine limitation. We have no reason not to do this. Because we use the hardware cursor, as soon as you create the game build, the hardware cursor gets locked in what it's going to look like, which is why it does respect changes to the cursor outside of the game. So if you want a bigger cursor, and I know this is frustrating and not the answer you're hoping for, you can go into Windows before the game launches. Actually, don't know if you can do it on the fly. I think it has to be before the game launches, and you can crank the size of your cursor. You can be like giant cursor mode. And the in-game will respect it and it'll get huge. The color and stuff we don't have a way of changing, unfortunately. You can implement a software cursor, like a third-party software cursor over top, like YOLO Mouse. That does work. And you're allowed to do that. Which case I've never used it. Well, I've never installed it on my own computer. I've used it. But I don't know if you're allowed to just put any image you want there if you're using YOLO Mouse or not, or if they have only fixed ones. I would assume there's just like a pick your sprite option there, but I don't know. Alright, why does it feel less rewarding to do higher corruption? The loot drops feel the same at 500 to 1,000 corruption versus 2,000 to 3,000 corruption. Well, you're already into the like extremely high-end stuff. So it does start to fall off in the difference per corruption point. Because there's not like new thresholds of things that are unlocking. There's not new, like as you're getting through the like 200 corruption, what is going on? As you're getting through that like into empowered 100, 200, 300 corruption, there's new things that are showing up that are possible that couldn't happen before. So it's really obvious the difference in the power level that's appearing. And the difference in the rarity of the things as you are getting higher up like that is lower. Sorry, is higher? like the difference between a 2 tier 7 item that you really want the affixes on and a 3 tier 7 item of the affixes you really want is a much bigger gap than a 1 T7 to 2 T7 version of that same item. So if there's like, even if the rate that you're gaining, that like the increased rarity goes up at is linear, the rarity of the items that you're looking for jumps of the same scale is bigger. Oh, I might be saying that wrong. Not so much. Hey Mike, since your favorite builds are with bows, why the Primalist? Will the Primalist one day be able to use them like Scarven Bloodhorn? Oh my goodness, I hope so. Whether or not the Primalist could use bows was a very hot topic in the design discussions when we were first adding bows to the game, and it almost happened, and I wish we'd done it, and I fully agree with us not doing it, and I'm just sad about it. So I hope so. Is there a plan for getting a hotkey reroll the prophecy in CF? Not that I know of, but I think this is a great thing to put in the suggestions channel because I would love it. Was the drop rate of Memory Amber nerfed? Not that I know of. I think this is the same sort of thing of like being used to playing at 1000 corruption and then coming back and you're playing at 100 corruption and it feels like it's way less sort of thing. Because it is less at that point, but it's... I could be wrong about that, but if it's not in the patch notes, it shouldn't have been changed. Is it possible in the future to have the Weaver Tree Prophecy tab be account-wide rather than character-specific? It's really intentionally character-specific. The points should unlock account-wide. I could see there being some sort of like copy thing, like load in the tab from someone else or something. That gets messy. I see where you're coming from, and I think there's probably a way we could do it. I don't think anyone's working on anything like that, but if you're interested, put it in the suggestion channel because I think it is useful. I see that like attack animation, and I like get out of there because the first. Well, the first one that I did, which came from this amulet, had that ability, obviously. And it just wrecked me every time. I'm like scarred. Will there be more singularities / primordial sets? Singularities / primordial sets. Dual sets with that ring. Or singularities / primordial sets. So singularity is an idol that is like hit, like non-crit hit build boosting. I don't think that's what this is talking about. And there's no primordial sets in the game. So I think this might be like sets of items that are singleton. Like where you can only have one primordial item. I think that's what this is asking. Then there's that dual sets with that ring in parentheses afterwards. So maybe it is to do with set items? I don't know. This question's from YouTube. Whoever had this question, please clarify for me what we're talking about. Happy to answer it. We got some time here. Ooh. I think that item's really interesting. really want to... One of the things I'm going to be pitching a lot for this season is some new set items. I've got some ideas from some set items. I don't think any of them will get accepted. I know it sounds like a ridiculous thing to say, but I'm hoping... Did I delete one? It was 16 before. I added one and it became 17. Whirlpool. I'm really excited for getting some new sets into the game. I think that they are something that we've unfortunately used not well enough so far. I don't think that's a secret. And I'm really looking forward to getting some new things in there. Let's get this real quick. Yeah, that's what a real-time beast looks like. We want horns and fangs. We're gonna do class specific idol. Hello there, how are you? I'm doing pretty good, how are you? Any chance there's gonna be a fix for MTX with minions where sound bugs out, cracks echo same effects with sound after a few minutes of gameplay? I have no idea. Let's slap on some minion VFX and see if we can get it to trigger. Let's do this one. This one. Because we can. Let's do this one. Got one there already. Let's do something pretty. Let's do. Yeah, I like this one. We have to resummon them to get them? Yeah, resummon them. It looks so cool. Why was I not doing this before? They stand out so well. Okay, that's the first time I've seen that cosmetic, and I love it. That is great. Okay. Why did we go back in? Apparently I'm a crazy person. Being told the sound bug's being looked into. Wonderful. Okay. We're in the thick of things. We do not need to be in the thick of things. Are you planning a buff to reflect builds? Because they're so underpowered compared to the rest. Sarcasm aside, I hope so. If you do have a suggestion for something you'd like to see buffed or nerfed, head on over to the suggestions channel. Because I have no info on upcoming balance changes. Other than it will be done logically. Oh, an exsanguinous. There's an option. I don't think we want that. Gotta find Aaron's well. Speaking of a roadmap, our skill sigils got scrapped or put on hold. Anything about it? There is absolutely no information I can share about it whatsoever. I heard it spawn. Right. I heard it spawn again. That sound is getting me good. That's what we'd like to see. I love having... I love this shield. Love it. Hey, it's what we like to see. Let's go. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. Singularity set question. All right, wonderful. Legends Entwined Ring. Okay, we are talking about that. Where it replaces, one set. Where it replaces one item from the set and gives some bonuses. My original question is, there will be new sets since the current sets are kind of trash. Will be sets idols? Oh, set idols. Probably not. And new idol singularities. Singularities is I think the new idols like singularity? Probably. Because there is only one item of singularity. While was saying primordial set, I mean for 2 set pieces, but used with the ring, so we can get both affixes. Where that part is like only one can be equipped. Helps clarifies. I have some more questions. So set idols are very unlikely to happen. I think that's like maybe. I think there's room for that. Oh my god, I'm not using a weapon at all. What happened to my weapon? What? When did that happen? What? I mean, it's not a bad weapon to wear for my minions, but what? How long have I been not using a weapon? It wasn't very good, so I don't care where it went, but what? Welcome to the raiding party, Lang and Party. Thanks for coming. Glad you're having with us. I could do this. Yeah, should I do that? This is better, actually. Wild. We'll figure out what happened there. Okay. Legends Entwined question. Let's unravel this still. There will be new sets created. Yes. Will idols be part of those sets? I think it's very unlikely. It's not impossible. I think it's unlikely that an idol will actually be part of it. I've pitched a few of them. Will we make more items like singularity? Like the items maybe. There's certain elements of singularity that I can see us doing more of, and there's certain elements of singularity that I don't think we'll probably do of much again. The fact that it just says you can't crit is something that I think a lot of people overlook, and it causes a lot of like noob trap moments, which is unfortunate. We don't like that. Encouraging hit-based non-crit builds is something that I think we are missing still, and I'd like to do. I don't know how to approach that yet. We'll see. Okay, then part of this was saying primordial set. I mean 2 set pieces, but used with rings, so we can get both affixes, but where the part is like only one can be equipped. So just any 2-piece sets. I think that's what it's asking for. Yeah, there'll probably be more 2-piece sets. I'd like to explore what a bigger set looks like in Last Epoch. I'd like to explore what there's a few things I'd like to do with sets, and I don't know how to do it yet. And I can talk about this. This is just where I'm coming from putting design suggestions in the set items channel in general that I'm doing. So it's things like a set, like a 7-piece set, but 6 of those pieces are different weapons. So there's like a two-handed sword, a two-handed mace, a two-handed axe, a two-handed spear, a one-handed sword, a one-handed mace, a one-handed dagger, like and a shield, or maybe not a shield, bad example, maybe a ring, or a set of gloves or something. I don't know, but you know what I mean, like something like that. I think would be really fun to do. And then I'd also love to do a set where it's sitting in every single. There's a piece of this set in every single slot. And there's only like a 3-piece bonus, so there's no like 8-piece bonus. So there's like no point in wearing all of it. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I don't know why I'm picking these items up. Really, I can read most of the time. And making the same mistakes immediately. So smart, Mike. Sword catcher is a great item. Causes a lot of questions. People really want to use it with manifest armor. Doesn't work that great. Yeah, I think I answered all those questions. If I didn't, please feel free to ask more about the Legends Entwined ring. Happy to answer them more. Now that you have a publisher, so Last Epoch is still a self-published game by the studio 11th Hour Games. Technically, there's no publisher there. The company 11th Hour Games is now owned by a company that does publish games. So I guess we could start using them for publishing. As far as I know, I don't know of any plans to change how we've been doing things. From like a... Ooh. Now that's more like it. I think that's just better than everything I'm wearing put together. It's actually... What can we put on here? We don't need poison damage. Let's see if we can just actually slap something on here first. Minion spell bow. Of course, it took all of it. That's fine. Still way better. Still trying to get our stockpile of decent affixes built up here. Okay, more questions. I'm falling behind. Has there been any discussions of crossovers with another franchise? Very cool. I did not see that's where that question was going. So this is relation to the Crafton buyout. Will there going to be any crossovers because of that? I hope so. I'd love to do a crossover. I think it'd be super cool. I haven't heard anything about it. I'm kind of not in a position where I would find out about things like that until they were pretty solid. But I'd love to. I think it'd be fantastic. There's a lot of games that a lot of us grew up with that I know we'd love to do crossovers for that I don't think would be super interested in it from like what would they get out of it standpoint yet, but maybe once we get a little bigger. You know what I think would be really cool? I don't think would ever happen. I think it would be really cool. Is actually doing a crossover with PoE. Or Diablo, either one. But implement, I feel like there's a possibility to have a collaboratively designed item that is in both games. I have no idea if this is possible. or what that would look like, because there's so many different restrictions on items in both games. So you'd almost have to like, it would have to be like a similar theme, like maybe the item is named the same, but it has the same theming, but like the specific implementation and balance is unique to each game or something. I think it'd be super cool. I'd love to do it. I don't think it's gonna happen. One of those things you think about is like, oh, wouldn't that be nice? But there's other games that are under the crafted umbrella that I think would be also awesome to do this with, and it's much more likely to happen. But I haven't heard anything about it whatsoever. The only reason I say it's more likely is because under the same umbrella. Yeah, Skelly Mage damage. There's what we want to slap on that. Just go do that. Go do that. I thought there was a huge fight happening here when we came back. I was wrong. I feel like we're doing a lot more damage with this staff. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, love it. We're gonna go do a Temporal Sanctum and slap that mage damage on our chest, I think. The mages are doing good damage right now. At least I think it's them. Kind of hard to tell. As the game marches forward, many older unique items are getting power crept. Is there going to be a focus on boosting older uniques slash sets? It's an interesting thing because a few times we've taken older ones and been like, here's a buff. And even with that, it's just the fact that they've been around conceptually for so long that they are kind of dismissed, I think. I'd like to. There are a lot of items I think that fit in the like leveling process, and they're really awesome to be able to get early and that sort of thing. And that's going to make them kind of forever be difficult to sit in a high-end situation. Scrap that. Let's dump our gear. Whoops. This one? No. This one. Let's go do... So close. So close. That's that 7th slot. We're gonna go do this. Will Rune of Shattering allow a confirmation window? Any option would help. So I understand where this is coming from. I think that the better solution here is... so the answer to your question, no, we don't have any plans to do that. Maybe if you want to see it, suggestion channel. I think what this is talking about is the situation where you accidentally drop an item you're using when you're dumping stuff into your inventory and you accidentally do this and you right click and it switches out. You don't realize it's done that, and then you shift click the second item. Maybe they're the same base and they look similar. They go over here, you try and shatter it. Boom, you just lost your piece of gear, and the one you were trying to shatter is sitting on your character. That's the situation, the scenario that I'm perceiving this question's coming from. I think the better solution is to have a way to make this item not be possible to be shattered. Because especially when you're doing many like large systems of shattering. Yeah. So I think that when you're doing a lot of shattering, especially, you want them to happen really quickly and smoothly. You want this to be something that you can like do rapidly. I'd almost want to make the shattering system. I do want to make the shattering system faster and smoother for doing large scale shattering, and adding a confirmation window to that will have the exact opposite effect. So I think like the short answer is kind of no, but the longer answer is I understand the problem, or I hope I understand the problem, and we are looking at ways to solve it. Let me know if I don't understand the problem, though, because I am very willing to be wrong. When will Spriggan Form get some love? There are barely any useful skills to spec with it, while Werebear gets all the love. Yeah, Werebear is one of those things where it naturally fits a lot of those things really well. T-Rex will be fine. Sure. Nope. Come on the T-Rex? Yeah, I'll put on the T-Rex. That works. Come on. Oh. Ball. Sometimes. I don't understand why it works sometimes and not others. Spring Form gets, I mean, I don't have specific details on which skills are going to be targeted next for upgrades. I know that the slots where there are skills missing from certain classes is the slot places we're looking at for targeting new abilities. Usually abilities that are adjacent to those get looked at the same times. So, because we did just look at a bunch of Primalist abilities, there'd have to be another Primalist ability that we'd be looking into making to probably affect existing ones in a significant way. Not to say there won't be anything done to them, but as like a focus. But I get the vibe from some of the feedback is that if like I should really be saying like we're either not touching it at all and it gets a little change and people are happy about that, or I should be saying we're doing like an overhaul on it and change out nearly every node. I think that's kind of the two options I have to talk about it right now. I was a little close in a couple spots there. Don't really need that set. Oh, I don't need any of that. Let's keep going. Who comes up with the names for champions and rare mobs? Some of them are interesting, like Puke Fist. I don't know. A lot of them are probably Holly or Justin, or I don't know who does them. I'm wrong. Okay, what are we gonna put in this? Int, sure. We're not gonna take it. Yeah, let's reroll that. Where is it? This one? Refinement. Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Whatever, I'm just doing it. I don't care. It's not even the right one. It's not the right chest. It's not even optimal. Oh my god, that's so tragically terrible. I don't care. Serves me right. It's probably Chi that comes up with most of these names. That's who it probably is. You used to say a build was successful if it reached 300 corruption, and any build doing 1000 was a mistake on your part, considering Uberoth requires at least 100,000 or 1000 in practice. Do you still try to follow that goal, or has it changed? I think that, yeah, there's definitely been power creep, and there are definitely builds that are doing that pretty regularly. I still think that if you've come up with a build yourself and you're playing through the game and you're able to do 300 corruption at it, and you're probably downing regular Aberoth, I think that build is very successful. I think that it is. I think you've like accomplished almost all of the content. You're missing one boss at that point. That's just an Uber boss. That's like a stretch goal for really pushing and min-maxing things. I think that if you've made a build and it's doing 300 corruption, I think you are very successful, and I think you've done a great job and wonderful, awesome. I think personally, I think I'd like to see us try to condense the corruption scale a little bit, so that there's advantages for it being linear and non-linear, and I'm every day I'm more and more interested in having it be non-linear. I am squarely in the minority on this one, so I would not expect a change to it. So yeah, I do still think that statement is true. However, I think the reason it's true has changed. Throwing damage. Oh my god. That is tragic. We'll hope that gets a second stat instead of just leveling that one up, which is very unlikely. And we can slap it. If it's a good stat, we can slap it on. But otherwise, it's probably effectively getting chucked. Because we don't need it for rerolling. Oh, we might need it to reroll one later. That's okay. We'll keep it, and if we get a low skill version of one later, we'll use it to reroll that skill count. If we get a good, Nemesis roll on it. But it's like if we get a good Nemesis roll, but plus all minion skills is 2, then we'll use the one we just got as the reroller. Goal! Ooh, that was close. I'm starting to another one of them. That's funny. I remember I was playing that build recently, and I like just could not find one to save my life. Now I'm getting tons of them. Okay, I've got like 500 hours in the game. That's a lot. Awesome. I love it. But I never managed to stick to a single build / character for more than a couple of days. Any advice to stay focused on a single character till the end? I would issue yourself a very specific and niche challenge. Like, I want to complete, I mean, Aberoth's the obvious one, but you could even do like a T4 Julra or something like that with a specific skill as the primary skill. And I say specific skill as the primary skill instead of a build overall, because giving you room to adjust that build to focus on a different way of building that skill to complete the goal, I think is important. And so pick something that's maybe a little off the wall, and not that there's not like go to a tier list, find an ability that's not high on that tier list, and see if you can and find a challenge that's not super duper high on the difficulty, so not Uberoth level challenge, and issue yourself a challenge to complete that task with a less meta build focused around a specific skill or item. You can do it with an item too. You'd be like, I want to build around this item. Usually an item will dictate a skill as well if it's a really niche item, but sometimes it'll just be like, you'll be like squarely in like melee bleed or something like that, or like throwing poison or something. I don't know. Have you seen any suggestions recently that seemed logical to you, even though it doesn't mean it could get implemented? Yes, every single day. I can't think of an example off the top of my head right now, but yeah, all the time people drop suggestions that I'm like, that's a sweet suggestion. We can't do it. No. And then it's usually followed by, okay, how can I change the suggestion to make it work? Or how can I change the systems to make the suggestion possible? And usually the answer is you can't, unfortunately. Go into the dump, drop in off my stuff. All right, let's go get that unique note. 15-minute warning. Pew, 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 pew. Thanks, Epic. I noticed there was a huge list of job openings. Is ESG expanding? Always. But yeah, I mean, that's part of getting more cash in and getting a backer, like getting a new owner like Crafton. One of the big things we immediately started doing is open up that hiring board. Dang it, just more throwing damage. Oh, that's what we expected. Garbage. I mean, we could move the Exalted onto the Volatile Zombie stuff, which would be sweet. Not a lot here. That's frustrating. Yeah. We're trying to we're getting more people. We're getting. I love being able to say this. We're getting, because when I reference the people who are less good in this category, I'm talking about literally myself. Getting people that are much better at making video games than me. To come do the things that like I can't do, and we've been doing that for years. And the people we've brought on in the last year, and before that too, it's been incredible. But just getting more and more of those people that are amazing has been wonderful. Shout out to the guys that have been working with me on that project that we've been doing for a while. You've been awesome. Love having you. How vague can I be? Right. Are we ever getting lightning electrify conversion for Warpath? I would say it's unlikely, but not impossible. The Electrify being in Paladin is kind of the only place that you'll find Electrify in general. And there is, Paladin Warpath does exist. It's a thing. Usually it's focused around Smite, which you can get a lot of Electrify stuff with as well, but you can't convert it. So I can understand why that synergy doesn't get used a lot. It's possible. Drop it on the suggestions channel. I could see that being something that comes from an item. If I was going to guess how that would be implemented, I think item would be the way I'd pitch that. Kind of long shot, but any chance to backtrack campaign missions if doing the dungeon skip? For example, I want to face Leah for Prophecies, but never played the act with that character. What's the best way? You'll have to go through back. So you'll just have to go back to the point that you skipped it and play through the campaign to get there and do it. The other way is if you're online, just typing in chat, hey, can someone warp me to Zone XYZ? Or Z, sorry. Love the new season. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Ticket raised in Jira. We don't use Jira. Can you add a physical conversion for Drain Life? Corresponding blood VFX. They give it proper damage scaling vector. Much love. Maybe drop it in the suggestions channel in our Discord. Would be the best way if you'd like to see it. There's also something that I think might be surprising. So when I find a bug and I want to report a bug myself, This is what I do. I come in game. I actually open the client and report it in game. I think there's, yeah. The channels we've set up for things like this are really efficient, and it's the best way to get stuff in. All right. Is there any plan to add more primal uniques? I kind of miss one. Tailored directly towards necromancers, like the Frog Helm for Beastmaster or so. Yeah, I think there's so the when we're a little story time. We got a few minutes. Little bit of a story time before the end of the stream here. Designing the look what we got back here. Lovely. When we were starting design for the primal uniques, we very early on identified that because we wanted them to be very specific in what they do, that we probably weren't going to be able to make one, or we were unsure if we were going to be able to make one that would fit essentially every build. So that regardless of what you've said, if you started the game, like what I keep calling the naive approach, where I need a better term for that. I don't know what a good term for that is. If anyone knows what I'm talking about and has a better term, I'd really appreciate it. Just let me know. But where you're booting the game up, you're not looking on the internet for builds, and you're just seeing like, let's play and have fun and read nodes as I come to them and take whichever one seems best as we go, sort of thing. In that situation, there's a lot of builds that you could potentially find yourself on that don't have primordial uniques, sorry, that really fit the playstyle you're going for. So it's something we were trying to do is we were trying to get as much coverage in those primordial uniques as possible. And so there are some that are kind of generic, and they have a big impact on how you build your character, how you like put together what other items you're putting onto your character. So the prime example of this is the Harmony Spear, where you're only using magic items, and you can really tailor that to fit into any build, so it's really wide, but it's really narrow in the type of items that you are equipping with it at the same time. And then there's items that are very narrow in the types of build, which is how most of them fit in the types of builds that they fit into, where it's like, this is a build specifically for fire, melee, sentinel. I don't know, like it's very narrow, and it's like where it's sitting. And so we're assuming that there were going to be quite a few builds that just didn't have anything that went with it, which is the point that we were saying, okay, if we can't get enough builds, enough items that are broad enough to fit in with any build situation for the primordials, we need to have and without just having like a fallback, like a Mara's equivalent or a Shaco equivalent, having the primordial exalted items become that fallback where you can put any stat up higher. So yes, there are some gaps in the primordial items still, and I would really like to try and close some of those gaps with new ones. I don't know if we're going to be adding more next season. I don't know if we're going to be adding more ever. I hope so. I really hope so. And so yeah, I'll be pitching them, and you're welcome to put them in the suggestions channels. And I think especially it'll depend on if we find one that we really like. If there's a really good one that shows up, I think that'll be the catalyst for adding them. All right, we're almost done here. 5-minute warning. Thank you very much. Still regarding the balanced goals, does that mean you are still trying to bring builds to 3-digit corruption? Not necessarily. Would any build even... I should probably look where I'm going before I'm just walking into a wall. Would any build even be able to kill Uberoth that way? Yeah, probably. It would take longer to get the gear. Because there's no new items that can show up past 500 corruption. I think that's it might even be 300 corruption where new items stop showing. It's probably 5 though. Or is the new balance goal... I mean, you need 500 corruption to unlock Ubroth anyways, so yeah. Would any build even be able to kill Ubroth that way? Yes. Or is the new balance goal to have all classes be able to eventually do Ubroth, even if it's still not an easy fight? No, I don't think there's... So, yes. The goal is to have all classes be able to eventually do Ubroth. Yes, and I think that's already the case, isn't it? Like, there's no class that can't do it, as far as I'm aware. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure there was, like, every class did it last season, and I'm pretty sure there's more power this season. So I'm not basing this off of anything actual. Oh, no warlocks have killed Uber Abbey yet. There we go. Thank you, Muffin. Here we go. I'm just gonna do this like the quickest and dirtiest way possible to get this on screen. Boom. These are Uber Abbey kills in softcore. So it looks like Beastmaster's number 1, Druid's number 2. Oh wait, no, here we go. Necro's number 2. Despite being terrible, Necro is number 2. Then Druid, we got Lich at 213. Yeah. Sorcerer, Mage in general is having a tough time. Rune Master is sticking out front. Looks like, yeah, there's only one Forge Guard. Warlock's the only one that's not here at all. So yeah, we're assuming that one Warlock can kill Ubroth in the next however many months. We're already there. And we're 1 week into the patch. And I think that I think it's unlikely that there's many like sorcerers super underrepresented there. I bet there's very few, if any, sorcerers that are over 1,000 corruption right now. You know? Maybe those ones are. Maybe those ones that are doing it are over that. I don't know. I think having a hard target number for corruption to expect people to do is a mistake. And I think every time I mention even just like a vibe check on corruption, it gets taken as gospel of how much is like the balance point or something, and I really hate it when that happens. The big reason why I don't like having expected corruption values for players in the thousands is that I think it's it takes a long time to do that, to get up there, and it becomes a bit of an endurance run just to get the corruption that high. And I think having like player expectations for, I think beating the highest difficulty content in the game, setting the expectation on how much effort that's going to take, I think should be pretty high. I think it should be difficult and something you're planning for, something that you're strategizing for, something that you are working towards over a long period of time before you're actually able to do it. I think beating the hardest content in the game should be an achievement and shouldn't just be expected to do with willy-nilly builds that you put together personally. I think being able to beat regular Aberoth with a willy-nilly build that you put together yourself should be expected. And I'm hoping that I can complete regular Aberoth with or something similar to this build that I'm just willy-nilly put together. I don't know if that'll happen or not. I think that would be the sign that if nothing could do regular Aberoth, I think that would be the point where it's like, that's a problem. Yeah, Is there a boss whose story you want to learn more about? Yes, but it's not in the game yet. And on that horrible cliffhanger, it's time to end. We will be back same time, same place next week. I hope you had fun. I know I did. Yeah. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging out. Let's go see if we can say hi to someone. Harry's back. Maybe he never left, and maybe I just wasn't looking at the right time. If you're listening, you'll be happy to know that the air quotes your amulets have recently caused some problems in developing of something new. Have a great day. Bye.